When talking about fictional universes, many come to mind: the MCU, the DCEU, or perhaps the DCAU, but many people would say Star Wars is their favorite. And you know what? I might have to agree. Whether it's the story, the characters, the sweet music, Star Wars has cemented itself in history as one of the best pieces of fiction to date. But that does not mean it's perfect. When looking at Star Wars' shortcomings, you hear a lot of things. Prequel issues, even though in my opinion, these are peak. TV show problems. I've never been a big fan of the Star Wars TV shows besides the Clone Wars series, and obviously the elephant in the room. Now, in my humble opinion, these movies are god-awful. The Force Awakens being the best of the three, and I actually had a lot of hope after The Force Awakens came out, mainly because of one character. I thought Finn was one of the best character introductions in Star Wars, and I had hope that his character could have been something special. Obviously, we knew how that turned out.
They fly now?
So I've broken it down into 5 sections of Disney's biggest mistakes when dealing with Finn. Section 1, Promising Beginnings. Finn's introduction got the hopes of everyone up, just to tear him down. Section 2, the False Jedi section. Choosing to tease Finn's connection to the Force, ultimately not to have him be the Jedi, was devastating. Section 3, the wasted rivalry section. His rivalry with Captain Phasma was nothing short of doo-doo. Section 4, and finally Section 5, the nail in the coffin section. After they ruined his character, they just decided to give up on him. Before I get into this, I want everyone to take a moment of silence for the greatness that could have been Jedi Finn.
They fly now?
I'm sure you all know how Finn started out, but if you didn't, he used to be a stormtrooper, FN-2187. Basically, bro was just another bum under the command of a dark side Force user, but it's shown to us that FN-2187 clearly was not built for this life. He wasn't following orders, he refused to shoot helpless villagers, and ultimately, he helped Poe escape the First Order. So why do I think this beginning held promise? Well, because it's something we've never seen before. The possibility of a Force-wielding stormtrooper was actually a really clever idea. Someone cooked there. Not only did it show the audience something they've never seen before, but it also brought a lot to Finn's character. He was a deserter, but a hero, a traitor, but a savior. FN-2187 was the first on-screen live-action stormtrooper seen breaking out of the path most stormtroopers follow. Besides this goat. Finn gave meaning to what stormtroopers are. Usually they're just bad-aim bozos used to show how much Jedis or Siths are powerful. But Finn put a face under the mask of these people, showing that they're real people behind the millions and millions of stormtroopers. This beginning is elevated by tenfold by the Force connection Finn had. A stormtrooper turned Jedi? Yeah, man, someone definitely cooked there. If they continued the sequels with Finn being the main Jedi, that would have been much more intriguing than the road that they went down, which is when Disney took their first misstep. Not only did they not make Finn the Jedi, but they also led us on for 3 movies thinking he would be, especially in The Force Awakens. Finn had not 1, but 2 lightsaber fights. I'm not saying he should have been the only Jedi instead of Rey. Well, I kinda am, that would have been much better, but that's besides the point. They could have made them both Jedis. If Finn became the main Jedi, his entire arc would have been dismantling the First Order. You know, the people who made him commit terrible acts of war crimes against his will. Finn being able to lead the Resistance as the most powerful asset that they have, in complete contrast to him being the most replaceable asset to the First Order, it would have given him development of finding self-worth and overcoming the cards he's been dealt. With Rey, she really had no beef with the First Order, or at least not any notable ones I can remember. She was just a scavenger. But say they wanted to keep Rey as a Jedi. If Rey had a partner alongside her who was also one with the Force, she would have been able to, you know, train with someone actually. Instead of Rey being a master Jedi for no apparent reason, other than fighting some fucking rocks, she would have been able to hone her skill, taking away people's largest issue with Rey's character. This was just the biggest blunder of the sequels. With absolutely no doubt in my mind, had they gone with Finn being the main Jedi, people would probably love these movies. By not going with him as the Jedi, they ruined a retribution arc that would have blown any doodoo love story out of the water. Finn becoming a Jedi would have also added to this next section and maybe have made it not so trash.
Mr. Jabba the Hutt, you fat, slovenly, no.
Now, what do all of the greatest characters in Star Wars have? A fantastic rivalry. Palpatine has Yoda, Han has Boba, and Obi-Wan has the entire dark side. It's clear they wanted to set up a Finn versus Phasma, which on paper could have been a really good rivalry. Phasma being the leader of the First Order stormtroopers and Finn being the only deserter. Having this rivalry would have given Finn something to strive to overcome. In the first movie, Phasma is the clear winner, and by the third movie, Finn is able to push himself beyond and come out on top. I never understood how they fucked this up so bad, considering Star Wars has so many successful rivalries.
Look what has become of you.
However, in classic sequel fashion, it was complete garbage. The turning point, in my opinion, being Now, I want you to listen here, real close. Why on earth was this fight not between Finn and Phasma? Who the fuck is this dude? I need to know right now. Is this Tingus Pingus? Not to mention, this was just another tease of Finn being a Jedi. If this fight was between Finn and Phasma, it could have been used as the roots of Finn's progression as he worked with Rey and the Resistance. Okay, so they fuck it up once, okay. Surely they won't do it again, right? Wrong. In the very next movie, the rivalry is over. It's done, no more. Somehow Finn becomes skilled enough to kill Phasma. This bum Finn didn't even do anything in the past movie. It was rushed, it was anticlimactic, and I need to express this to the fullest extent. Literally nobody cared. I remember being in the theater and being like, okay, well, I guess Phasma is dead. Somehow, Disney managed to disappoint people with a rivalry that was already ass to begin with. After this, I knew it was Jover for Finn, but nothing could prepare me for this next section.
They're coming for me. No, no, no!
Before I absolutely piece up this subplot, I want to explain that I know that a lot of people have criticized this subplot. And I am no different. I am a born hater. Don't you know this? The biggest question I have for this whole thing is why? What was the point of Rose? Does anybody know? Why did they do this to my boy Finn? He did not deserve this type of treatment. This subplot, and I swear on this, has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. Nothing. Finn and Rose go to Canto Blight, basically just Las Vegas, looking for the Hacker Man or something, just some type of code breaker. Mind you, this completely leaves the main plot of the First Order versus the Resistance. So you might ask, what does the subplot add? And I really couldn't tell you. I think it was an attempt to set up Rose and Finn as a couple, and I'm gonna get to that soon. And it also shined a light on wealth issues and animal rights. And this could have been a good message, but it was placed at such a strange time. It completely disrupts the pacing of The Last Jedi, and it was so disconnected from everything else in the movie. This subplot taking people's attention away from the main storyline was a horrible decision, because at that point of The Last Jedi, half of my theater was either sleeping or on their phone, and the other half already left. You also have Rose in there, and nobody knows who that is or why she's even here. Basically, what I'm saying is that nobody gave a shit. I kept thinking to myself, holy, can we please get back to the main story? Now, I would have been able to forgive all of this if Rose and Finn didn't have the worst on-screen chemistry that I've ever seen in a movie ever. It was so tragic. The romantic dynamic they tried to give Finn and Rose was way too forced, considering they met that movie and were only together for like an hour or so. This also buried Finn and Rey, which should have been Endgame in my opinion instead of Rey and Kylo, but that's more of a personal opinion than better for the story. Even though they had my G Finn calling for Rey out like she was his wife of 62 years. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, just look at this scene.
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate.
Then I go.
Saving what we love.
that? That was so bad. Did she die? What the fuck just happened? Who the fuck is this? At this point, Finn is already dead in terms of characters, and this random ass subplot really took every part of his character he had left, which brings us to this next section.
I have a question.
Ask a question. Answer, I will. Yes or no.
Do you support racism?
By the time Rise of Skywalker came out, as I said, Finn was dead and buried. It almost felt like this movie would have been much better if Finn wasn't even in it at all. Honestly, do you remember Finn being in this movie? All that I can remember is they gave him a new skin in Battlefront 2 from it. His dialogue was cringy, his role was unimportant, and it makes you wonder, what did Finn do to deserve this treatment? Obviously, Rise of Skywalker was ass all around. They had to bring Palpatine back just to ruin him like they did Luke. Not only did Palpatine sit around just to lose, but he lost to a no training having ass Jedi. Also, I have to mention how they did Luke. You're telling me the man who believed Darth fucking Vader still had good in him, but almost murdered a 13-year-old Kylo who was having bad dreams? Yeah, okay. From going from a Force-sensitive deserter stormtrooper to
They fly now?
was the biggest mistake Star Wars has ever made. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the sequel trilogy and what else you'd like me to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next video.